Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to a new episode of Words of Wellness. I'm your host, Yassir Al-Manawi, a clinical therapist. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most famous things in our society today. You might ask me what it is. I will tell you it's weight loss. Weight loss. Or how to lose weight, or how not to gain weight. This is actually very important. We are going to read the hadith. We are going to read the surah and the ayah, and we are going to discuss it afterwards. Surah Al-A'raf, ayah number, the number of the ayah is 31, and the translation says, "And eat and drink, but not excessive indeed. He likes not those who commit excess." That pertains to our eating habits and our drinking habits. And He is actually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What we need to do, we need to take a look at this. And I am going to talk about the techniques and everything that we do in treatment and in therapy to help somebody to lose weight. First of all, we talk about someone, for instance, who come to treatment because they feel that they're very upset with themselves because they're not able to lose weight. That's the first feeling, the anger. And the second feeling after that is that they're very disappointed in themselves. That's the second feeling, disappointment. And the third one after that is that their self-confidence is way down there. And that's because they're not able to achieve their goal. So the first thing we do with this is that we actually tell them that whether you lose weight or not, you're okay. You're okay anyway, because you're God's creation and you're an individual human being. And beauty is in the heart. It's not in the shape of your body. A lot of people don't buy into this because they came with one goal in mind, that they want to lose weight. So we start doing behavior modification techniques with them. One of the things that we say also is, if you do not gain weight, that means you lost weight. Somebody might tell me, well, what do you mean by that? If I don't gain weight, I lost weight. I said, yes, it is progress, isn't it? Yes, it is, because you spend some time and you're not gaining weight. So you're actually making progress, that you stopped the gain. So that means you're on the right track for what? For success. Now, the first thing we teach in behavior modification is that it's not only about food, it's not only about eating or overeating. However, we teach them how to gauge their food consumption or food intake. How do we do that? When somebody comes for treatment, we tell them, well, you eat 3 times a day, 3 meals a day. And what you do is that you do not overfill your plate, number one. Always leave it a little bit on the empty side. Number 2, you do not eat until you're hungry. That means your body's telling you, hey, I need the food, I need to survive. So that's number 2. Number 3, when you eat, you don't overfill yourself. Because overfilling yourself, it's not only going to cause you to gain weight, but also it's going to give you a lot of health problems. How do you do that? You always, once you're done with your plate, you leave it. That's it. You don't get a second. You just leave. When you chew very slowly. You have to chew 6 times. Each bite, you chew it 6 times. Why do you chew it 6 times? Because it takes 15 minutes from the brain to tell the body, or the body to tell the brain that, yes, I'm satisfied, I am not hungry anymore. So you have to take your time when you're eating. That's going to actually help you physically, and it's going to help you to lose weight at the same time. Physically, when I mean physically, when I say physically, I mean that you have to, when you take the food and you don't chew it, it gives you stomach problems and stomach ache, and it gives you a lot of digestive problem. When you chew your food, it's already somewhat digested by the saliva. When you take your time, you don't end up eating as much as you usually do, because if you're eating so fast, your body still is not reading. Your mind is not reading what your body is taking. So you take a whole lot of food, and where does it sit? It sits right with you. So this is two things. A third thing, behavior modification. You don't eat a lot of protein. What do you eat? You switch to salads. You switch to carbohydrates. You be moderate in everything that you do. I do not recommend that anybody would just stop eating altogether. That's the wrong attitude about it, because stop eating altogether, or binge eating, which is you stop for a period of time and then you binge. You stop and then you binge. You end up gaining weight. You don't lose weight. So what you need to do, in addition to that, you need to start moving. You move. You do exercise. You walk. You just do something that's physical. And the best thing that you can do for you is that you have to do some kind of cardiovascular activities, something that's good for your heart, to increase your heartbeat and to keep it up. This is what we teach everybody in there. Let's see. And here, when we say that you don't eat a lot because you don't eat in excess or excessively, it's like I'm going to take it again to gluttony. Gluttony is another one of the 7 deadly sins, which is a desire to hoard food. Some people psychologically, eating is actually, it gives them a source of security. To eat a lot of food, it gives them a source of security. So when they have this source of security, they just can't stop. Whenever they feel uptight, whenever they feel insecure, they go and they eat, and they don't know why. They don't know why they're eating. So cognitively, they need to figure out the reason why they're doing this, why they're overeating, or why they're binge eating. That's eating disorder. Along with the eating disorder, not just overeating or undereating, I want to talk a little bit about the other two types of that, which is bulimia and anorexia. Those are another type of eating disorders. Bulimia is when somebody eats and after they eat or binge eat, they eat a lot and they go and they make themselves vomit. The other type is anorexia. Anorexia is when somebody just completely do not eat. This has a lot to do with control. Usually, not all the time, but usually, people who have this type of disorder, they feel like they cannot control anything in their lives. They feel unsafe, they feel insecure, and the only thing that they can control is what? Is their food consumption, or lack of. So that's why when you do everything moderately, you end up on the right side of the equation. I urge everybody not to overeat, not to undereat, not to eat and then go and get rid of the food that they already consumed, or not stop eating altogether. If there are psychological issues behind this, you need to deal with the psychological issues in order for you to live a happy, healthy life. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in our next episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.